All right, hi guys. Just a quick one here. Right, this is the legislation Coronavirus Act. I'll leave a link in the description for you. Advice for anybody and everybody, whether you're photographers, auditors. I hate to use that word that's now become sort of like disdainful in the community. And this is your get out of free jail card as far as I'm concerned, and please prove me if I'm wrong, but it says here under section 5, restrictions on leaving home. I don't know if you can see my little cursor here, it's on the left of the screen. Restrictions, no person may be outside the place where they're living without reasonable excuse. And for the purpose of paragraph 1, the circumstance which is reasonable excuse include where one of the exceptions set out in the regulation 6 applies. Right? Place where a person is living includes the premises where they live together with any guard, yard and passage, outhouse, This restriction does not apply to a person who is homeless. So all you got to do is claim you're homeless and there's fuck all they can do. Exemptions from leaving home. Right? Exemption 1 is basically reasonably to P is where they say P here is person. To leave or outside the place where the P is living to buy goods and obtain services from a business listed below, which includes a bank. So all you've got to say is I'm going to the bank. And here to obtain money or deposit money with a business listed in paragraph 4344 schedule. And C, section C, to take exercise outside alone or with one or more members of their household, right? So as long as you're alone, you can leave your house, with regardless of any restrictions, because under section 5 you have to have a reasonable excuse, but under section 6 it quite clearly states exemptions from leaving home. So here's the exemption: to take exercise outside alone. Alone. To take exercise outside alone. Right? Let's also go and do Control F up here in the. If you don't know about Control F, but hold down the control button on your laptop, push the letter F, this box will come up, and you simply enter any particular word that you want to, because this is like 66 pages long, so it's pointless reading all of it. So you can put in basically in this box where a word that you specifically want to search within these regulations, right? So we're now going to put in recreation. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Recreation. Again, it's got one of 5 times that word is used. And here it is: to visit an public outdoor place for the purposes of open air recreation alone or with another member of your household, or where the exercise is being taken, providing informal childcare, blah, blah, blah. You can read that for yourself. That's section D. The second time recreation is used is laid out as a public or garden or used as a purpose for recreation by any member of the public, right? 3, wearing a face covers on public transport, not really relevant. For dining or other recreational purposes, again, not relevant to what I'm saying. The following indoor facilities: dance studios, fitness studios, gyms, sports courses, swimming pools, bowling alleys, amusement arcades, playgrounds, soft play areas, and other indoor leisure centre facilities, including indoor games, recreation and entertainment venues. Again, not relevant. In normal times, open to the public to visit are in normal times open for members of the public to visit for the purpose of recreation, whether or not for payment. So again, Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972 applies. So let's go back to section number 1, sorry. Hang on, sorry. To visit a public outdoor place for the purpose of open air recreation. Right. The definition of the word recreation is an activity done alone for enjoyment when one is not working. So we'll look at that again. Activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. That is the definition of the word recreation. Now, if I want to go out and take photos in a public place, I'm completely covered by Section 6 of the Act, of the Coronavirus Act, which says I'm allowed to go out for recreation in a public place. Activity done for enjoyment when one is not working. So if you're going out to take photographs in a public place, there you have a complete exemption for being there. Now, I've noticed Tyrant Finder and Subject Access has both had their press passes from the police rejected by the police. They don't recognise them as press passes. Now, I did say this specifically to both of these guys, that they will not recognise your press pass. If it's an NUJ card, it's a National Union of Journalists. It just shows that you're a member of a union. It's not a press pass, right? And even if you go on the EPA's website, the English Press Association, they're going to consider that a far right website. And whether the far right website issues you a press pass, or whether I issue you a press pass, or whether my mate down the road issues you a press pass, whether it's going to be recognised or not is up to the police. Now, the MPCC did put something on their website to show what press passes they recognise, and they've since removed that link from their website, right? So basically, the police will only accept press passes from the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, CNN, Sky Sports, etc., 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 etc. Any mainstream news media outlet, the police will accept a press pass from. If you've got an NUJ card, they will not accept it as a press pass. So forget going out there and say you're a journalist. I know you're a journalist, but stand up on your rights. We've got a right to a freedom of press in this country, and that right is upheld under the UN Convention of Human Rights, 1948, specifically Section 19, right? Now, 19 clearly states the first word is everybody. Everybody has the freedom to gather and disseminate information regardless of frontiers, right? It doesn't say the BBC has the right. It doesn't say ITV has the right. It doesn't say Channel 4 has the right. It doesn't say Channel 5 or CNN or Sky News has the right. It says everybody has the right. The freedom to gather and disseminate information regardless of borders, right? And that is, we'll stick it up here quickly, 1948 UN Convention on Human Rights. Specifically, Article 19. So here it is. We'll try and expand this. Sorry, hang on 1 second. Oh, Hang on a sec. Right, sorry. Article 19. Everyone shall have the right to hold opinions without interference. Everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideals of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally, in writing, or in print, or in a form of art or other, or through any other media of his choice, his or her choice. So you have the freedom to gather and disseminate information regardless of frontiers, right? Now, the police have a duty under their oath, hold them on their oath. Did you hold, in their oath, it clearly states that they have a right to uphold your fundamental human rights. And here is a fundamental human rights under the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights under freedom of opinion and expression. The police have to uphold this if they're going to stand on their oath. This is why all this COVID bullshit is not being prosecuted in the courts, because none of it is lawful. Simple as that. Now, you can call it legal or lawful or this or that, but at the end of the day, none of it is lawful, what they're doing. The government is completely acting illegally. Everything they're doing, your right to a family life, your right to open your business, your right to go about your daily life, everything is unlawful, this government is doing. And that's why they've now called the new 2020 regulations, because they know they can't call it law or legislation. And even if they try to do that, they can't, because the government cannot legally violate your human rights. They can't come up with a a, a legislation that violates fundamental human rights. They can't do it. It's as simple as that. Just like the government can't force me to take 2 ibuprofen tablets if I've got a headache. They can't force me to wear a mask. They can't force me to take a vaccine. Now, if they try to do the vaccine thing on the basis of, if you don't take the vaccine, you can't go back to work, or if you don't take the vaccine, you can't take a flight, because that would be coercion. Coercion is a crime. Look that up. So everything they're doing is illegal and unlawful. And that's why everybody, if you're going to take the fine and just don't pay it. Because none of it is anywhere near lawful or even legal, depending on what definition you want to come from. It's not lawful. It's not legal. They can't do anything that subjugates, that takes away your fundamental human rights. So there it is in a nutshell. Please give me your opinions, because I do appreciate them. And I know a lot of people come back and say, oh, maybe this, or, people send me links and stuff, and I learn as I go along. But, as far as I'm concerned, as the extent of this video goes, that's where it ends up. None of what they're doing is legal nor lawful, and they can only get away with this is if people comply with it. Every person that complies with this bullshit is making it harder for other people to not comply with it. That's what people have to understand. Because the more you comply and you don't look into this stuff, the more the government is going to get away with violating your fundamental rights. And we have a fundamental rights under the 1688 Convention, the 1688 Bill of Rights. Look that up as well. These people have got no right to do what they're doing. And they're only getting away with it because people comply and they acquiesce and they obey whatever's coming out of that fucking freak Boris Johnson's mouth. Now, this isn't political. because Boris Johnson and the Conservative government came up with all of these bullshit regulations, right? And where's the opposition? Where's the opposition? The opposition is Keir, I'm a cunt Starmer. And he's saying that the government haven't gone far enough or deep enough or strict enough with the regulations. That's the opposition in this country at the moment. So you've got one political party arguing for fucking violating my rights, and the other political party saying that the first political party aren't going far enough in violating my rights. When are we going to fucking stand up? Stand up and fucking front these people, because everything they're doing is unlawful and illegal. It's as simple as that. Please share this video with everybody you know, and please leave your comments in the comments section below. I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves and everybody else. Take care.